Hi, I'm Dory, and today I am drawing Joe. His channel is The Random Life of Joe, and he is a small YouTuber, and he's also one of the kindest and sweetest people I've ever known. Sadly, this is not a happy video to be making, because this is a memorial picture that I'm drawing. This is because Joe has passed away. I've recorded the narration to this video about 50 times now, and I'm hoping that this time I can get through it without rambling and blubbering. But yeah. You probably don't know Joe. He, like I said, he's a small YouTuber with a small channel. But those of us that did know Joe loved him so much. He was just one of those types of people that always put everyone ahead of himself. Incredibly brave, incredibly courageous, and just so supportive and kind, and so loyal and good to his friends. When I first started my YouTube channel, like 3 years ago, he was one of the very first people to reach out to me and to be enthusiastic about what I was doing with my channel, and to be very supportive. And it wasn't just on YouTube. He was supportive to me on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook. I mean, and I was just always so excited about everything. And it wasn't just for me, it was for everybody that he knew. I mean, it just seems to be one of those universal truths as I'm speaking to other people that knew him. He was just like that. That's just how he was with people. He believed in his friends. He trusted them. He loved them. He lifted them up. And he was just everybody's #1 fan. I know that his in real life bestie just adored him and did a lot of videos with him, and they just seemed to laugh and have so much fun. I know his online bestie, Chris, is another really good friend of mine. We've done a few collabs together, but the two of them used to do stuff all the time together. They used to stream and do gaming and narrate each other's videos and all kinds of stuff. all kinds of stuff. And they were just so close, and it was so sweet. And that's just how he was, you know? Like, he was just so happy. He was incredibly upbeat and cheerful and happy in the face of everything. And when those of us that were friends with him were going through a hard time, he was just always there with a positive word, like, hey, you can do this, you can get through anything, you're great, you're so strong, you're amazing. And those of us that were busy complaining about our own lives had no idea that he had cancer. We had no idea that he was dying, because that's the kind of person he was. He didn't want the attention for himself. He was just wanting to be happy and to put out that positivity into the world, and that's who he was as a human. When I first went on to Instagram, he was one of the first people to follow me, and he was just so positive and so exciting and so enthusiastic about everything that was going on. And when I went on Facebook, he was one of the first friends that I added on my personal Facebook page from YouTube. He was one of the first ones that I was like, yeah, this guy's cool. He can see my personal profile. That's fine. He was one of the first people I reached out to when I was first looking around a few years ago, and I was thinking, I'd like to have a group or be in a group on Facebook where we can connect with other small YouTube channels and YouTube creators and get support and help for, various technical questions that we might have or advice about thumbnails and that kind of thing. And I thought, there would be great if there was a group, but there only groups that I found on Facebook were like sub for sub. And I wanted to create something that was different. And when I talked to him about it, he not only did he jump right on board with my group, he was one of the first members of my new group, but he was also ready right there with the Facebook wallpaper. Like, he had the page art done, he had a profile picture ready, he was like, let's do this, let's make this a real thing, and he designed all that stuff. And to this day, I've never changed it. It's all still his header, his stuff that he designed for the group because he wanted to get it started. He was so enthusiastic and so excited about this group. And he was always very interactive. When we would have new members come in, he was always like, hey, I'm Joe, nice to meet you. And he was just so positive. He asked me to do a live stream with him, and I said yes, and it never happened. He asked me about a collaboration idea that he had, and I said yes, and it never happened. I'm so bad at that. I'm so bad at saying yes to a project and then not following through. I think I've let down countless people on projects, various things. But I think I regret it with everyone, but for him I definitely do regret never having finished a collaboration project. One of the last conversations that I had with him was about a collab idea. We were talking about doing some kind of a live stream. Trying to create a group live stream kind of video stream chat, possibly on Twitch, with him and me and several other people watching Harry Potter together. And we were just gonna watch it together and just binge watch every single Harry Potter movie and just react to it and enjoy it and have snacks and talk about Harry Potter. And it was gonna be all different parts of the world, people coming together and watching Harry Potter, because it was something that we all loved very much. It's in fact one of the things that we talked most about was Harry Potter. But that conversation that we had on Twitter was the very last one I ever had with him. It was the very last conversation I ever had with him, because after that he went into the hospital and he died. None of us knew he was sick. Nobody knew. He didn't tell anyone that he had cancer because he was so sure that he was gonna beat it. He was so sure that it was not a big deal, and he didn't want to make anyone worry. He didn't want to bring anyone down or make anyone feel sad because he felt like it was, not a big deal. He was so busy worrying that we were going to be worried or feel unhappy he was just so determined to just beat it and to be okay, that he never told anyone. And so when we all found out that he was gone, it was a huge shock. Before he went into the hospital, he did tweet. He sent out one single tweet on Twitter And he said, my next video next week, it's going to be a little late because I'm going to the hospital, and it's not a big deal. Here's a link to my last video on my channel. And that was it. I missed that tweet entirely. I didn't see it until after he was gone. So I missed that opportunity to tell him to get well. I missed that opportunity to ask him why he was going into hospital. I missed that opportunity to know something was wrong and to reach out to him because I didn't pay attention to his Twitter account. I'm shaking. I'm so sorry. And it eats me up inside. It really just eats me alive that I did not see that tweet, that I was not paying attention, that I didn't say, Joe, what's wrong? Joe, I hope you feel better. Something. Because when I looked back after I found out he was gone, when I looked back at his Twitter account and I saw that tweet, I saw that I was not the only person that did not see it. Over the last several years that I've known him, he has reached out and been supportive and kind and enthusiastic and joyful and so good and so wonderful to so many people. I've seen him support and be loving to countless other people that I know on YouTube and on Twitter and on Instagram. And when I looked back at that tweet that he's put out that he was going into the hospital, not a single person had responded. No one had said, "Feel better, man." No one had said, "Why are you going into the hospital?" No one had reached out and asked him why. And it kills me inside, because after all the generosity and support and love that he gave out to people in his life, while he was laying there dying, his tweet was being buried on Twitter by people looking at, whatever was trending or whatever was on the news that day or whatever they thought was funny. And I don't even know what I looked at instead of his tweet, but I looked at a lot. And I hope that he didn't feel forgotten. I hope that he didn't feel like everyone didn't care. Because if I'd seen the tweet, I would have reached out. I know I would have. But it kills me to know that no one else saw it. No one reached out. No one. I just hope he wasn't feeling lonely. And I hope that he knows how many people are grieving him right now. I hope he knows how many people were touched by his generosity and how many people remember him and his kindness and his joyful enthusiasm and his book recommendations and his music and his smile and his questions, because he used to ask the greatest questions in his videos. He just wanted to help people. He wanted to tell stories and to teach and to learn at the same time. And I think there is no more noble thing on earth. So I hope that In spite of the fact that no one reached out to him, I hope that he knows how dearly he is missed. I drew this for Joe's family. I know that he loved them so much. So much. I mean, half of his Instagram was pictures of him with his nephews, and I know that he just adored those little boys, and I hope that they always remember him and how wonderful he was and how much he loved them. So I drew this for them, and I sent it on Twitter to Joe's best friend Michelle, and I asked her to print it up and to give it to his family for me. But I also told her to keep a copy of it, and I want anyone that loved Joe to have a copy of it. It's a free download. There's a link in the description box down below if you loved Joe and you want something, you know, you can have a copy of this artwork. It's free. Just download it, print it up. It's fine. I guess this is kind of my way of finally finishing my end of the collaboration that Joe asked me to do. So this is me. It's a little too late now, but this is me doing my end. Joe was a great guy. And I think we all have had someone, even if you didn't know Joe, I think we've all had someone like him in our lives. And I've been so fortunate to have, you know, Joe and several others that were just such genuinely good people, so positive and so in love with life and so in love with reading and intelligence and the pursuit of knowledge and the pursuit of others' success. I mean, he was so excited about every success that his friends had, and that is so rare. So, yeah. This is my friend Joe. I could have been a better friend to him. I could have talked to him many more times. I could have done a lot more for him, but I am very glad that I did at least draw him once while he was alive. I am very glad that he liked the little cartoon drawing that I did of him. I'm glad that he at least knew sort of how much I appreciated him and his friendship. So, but that was a cartoony drawing, and this is a serious one, and yeah. I'm gonna stop rambling. I've done this narration like 50 or 60 times now, and I honestly, I don't know what I've said at this point, what I haven't. But I will say that he always said that he was a Gryffindor. He always was very proud that that's what he was, that he was a Gryffindor. And I think he really was. I think he was everything that you could possibly say that is good about the Gryffindor house. He embodied that right up until the end. because you're not gonna find anyone braver. Okay, so thank you for watching. Again, if you want a copy of this artwork, the link is in the description box. You can download it, print it out, or use it on your wallpaper, whatever you want to do. I don't care. It's up to you. Find your own way to remember Joe. If he was someone that supported you and gave you love, then this is for you. I will talk to all of you later, and thank you for listening. Rest in peace, Joe.